So there's a notion that floats out there once in a while. And, honestly, a lot of people have not necessarily looked at what I think are the different pertinent aspects of publishing on the PlayStation platform, the Xbox platform, and such. Fortunately, I've dabbled into kind of looking at it, and it was just exciting stuff. It's not like I know anything. It's all public information. So I think it's very important that we actually put it out there. This comment said something very interesting. They said, you really want to burn some people's noodles out there? Technically speaking, SIE, which is Sony Interactive Entertainment, could just straight up break Xbox's developer license contract and not allow them to release games on the platform. As the platform holder, they hold the keys as to which can and or can't release games in their ecosystem, but they don't. Kind of makes you wonder who needs who more, doesn't it? Now, I've heard this, point put forward, but I wanted to go ahead and just, point out that Sony Interactive Entertainment could technically do something like that, but if they did, they're going to be going through a lot of different court cases, even trying that. Does that make sense? Regulators are going to drag them all over the place because this is the company that fought against Microsoft acquiring Activision Blizzard King under the guise that they were going to basically put those games exclusive, right? And so now that Xbox is now putting not only those games and more on their platform, it's going to really look weird if they have to go sit there and defend themselves in front of the regulators as to why they don't want to let Xbox put games on their platform. Now, with that being said, it shows the exact aspect of this whole conversation when it comes down to it. Like it shows that, that right now, they really all they got to do is just literally sit down and wait for all this stuff to just pretty much play out. Like all they can do on the PlayStation side is just sit down and watch. And that's exactly where things go weird. In fact, right above that comment, there's another comment that was put on a separate video that actually points this stuff out from the hardware side. Shout out to FGTFJNX6535. You said, VG, Xbox is going to play their next step via OEM partnership. You see, what Xbox is doing is they're doing a flood strategy. There's this strategy that is used, and I've heard about it being used in the military, where you pretty much keep yourself unpredictable and overload your opposition with a lot, so that before they respond, you're changing tactics and moving all over the place that they can't even really keep up with you in terms of just knowing what you're doing. It's not that they have to basically try to keep up with you in terms of what you're doing, but in terms of actually knowing what you're doing and what you're going to do next, you really have to be very fast. You says it won't be, FE says it won't be PlayStation versus Nintendo versus Xbox. It'll be PlayStation versus Nintendo versus, in parentheses, Xbox plus every licensed OEM, Lenovo, Asus, Dell, ROG plus MSI plus Samsung plus LG plus Razer plus Acer, etc. Xbox will be part of the Windows OEM build options. All these OEMs will want to partner with Xbox to sell their PC hardware because of the games. What can the FTC do? Nothing. What can PlayStation and Nintendo do? Watch their market share vanish. Xbox ecosystem everywhere. Xbox consoles, then PC, then cloud, and Steam. Game Pass everywhere. Just watch. This idea is that they're going to pretty much surround, corner, disrupt, subvert, and occupy the market any way that they can. Like they're going with the big strategy. Xbox everywhere. Xbox on your LG fridge. Xbox on your LG TV. Xbox on your Samsung phone. Xbox on your Samsung TV. Do you have a printer that's got a screen? We can probably play Xbox there. Okami Games made the funniest tweet. Phil Spencer laughed. This is a gentleman that posts on Twitter. When Xbox was basically signing deals to bring Call of Duty to PlayStation, to Nvidia, to Nintendo before the FTC, while they were going through the FTC thing, right? They were going all over the place signing these deals and commitments. And Kami Games made a tweet saying, Microsoft signs deal with Texas Instruments to bring Call of Duty to platform for 10 years. Phil Spencer replied and said, haha, that was actually funny. And it was funny. because it really does represent what Xbox is trying to do from the hardware perspective in terms of getting itself everywhere. That's what they want to do. That's literally what they want to do. And honestly, these other players can just watch. All they're going to do is sit there and watch. Why? They've already opened the door to Xbox. They opened the door with Minecraft. If you're looking at Nintendo, you're wondering, how is Xbox? They're already there. Xbox is already there on Nintendo. And it seems like they're keen and their intent is to stay there and be the biggest publisher there and enjoy and have money and fun and everything there and let their gamers play their games there. It's very simple. It's a very simple strategy that is anti everything that the consoles have been for the last few decades. And someone had to actually do it. Someone had to do it. And the person who could do it was the person who was, in my opinion anyways, who needed to do it was the person that was in the last place, Xbox. If it wasn't them, it would have been anybody else. It would have been Nintendo. It would have been PlayStation. In fact, PlayStation started moving their games to PC, so it appears that it's actually good for them. As many people may talk about how Nintendo may be shielded or insulated and stuff, you have to watch out for that. The market and the industry is a very different place right now. But when it comes down to it, PlayStation can only watch this whole thing happen. Because Xbox has got dev kits. They know the process in and out. They know the certification process for PlayStation. They know the legal process. They got all their T's crossed, I's dotted, that meet and follow every requirement to get those games on that platform. That's not even a problem. That's why they're shadow dropping stuff. That's why they're not even announcing stuff anymore. I feel like they're announcing them on PlayStation once they've already got the green light. That's when they're announcing them. Oh, by the way, you're going to get this game in 3 months or in 4 months or in 6 months. And all PlayStation can just do is just watch. Simple. So all the talk about, oh, yeah, these ecosystems and these platforms and all that, who needs who and all that, doesn't even really matter. Doesn't even really matter. At the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, this is what Xbox has always been envisioning all this while. That's it. It's a very simple paradigm. I digress. Thanks for watching the video. I appreciate you guys' time and audience. Let me hear your thoughts in the comment section. I really want to hear what people think about this. Peace out.